I want to go back to the election takeover legislation the Dem Socialists are moving that you were describing. You wrote a piece for Fox News that highlights a very important aspect of this, one of the unconstitutional gambits contained within, and that's federal preclearance, and
Yeah.
as a way to prevent some of the reforms that we've seen advanced at the state level in places like Georgia and Texas and Florida.
Yeah, the Supreme Court in the United States in 2013 held that preclearance requirement unconstitutional, and it dates back to the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And look, I was Attorney General for Virginia. There was genuine voter suppression of black citizens for a long time, and the Voting Rights Act cured it. And part of the cure, of course, was our society grew toward what Martin Luther King called a more colorblind society. And we've gotten the benefit of that. America's come a long way since 1965. And in this election, we saw in Tennessee and Mississippi both higher black voter registration and higher black voter participation than white. The worst state in those categories in the whole country was Massachusetts. So America's changed a lot, and the Supreme Court said that under those conditions and without any evidence of continuing voter suppression, that the preclearance was unconstitutional. But as you point out, now you have some states actually reforming their laws and cleaning up their elections, and the Democrats are apoplectic about it. Now, ordinary Americans, when you just ask them about the particular elements of a clean election, like voter ID, they strongly support it. Their common sense still resides in the American people. But when you get to the elected officials on the left, they're being pushed so hard by the radical left that they have to fight this stuff. And their solution is to try to drag it all through the federal government through preclearance. And in fact, what I wrote that op-ed about is their backup plan. So I mentioned that the Senate's going to consider S1 next week, but what I wrote about in that op-ed is called the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, named for a congressman, and that's their fallback plan. If they can't impose a one-size-fits-all election rules for the whole country, then they plan to make every single change in your state, and take it from a guy who is an attorney general in a covered state. This literally means if you want to move a polling place from an elementary school to the firehouse, you're going to have to get the federal government's permission. That's not a joke.
This is just a classic, SR1 versus HR4. This is just a classic. We've got what we want to take through the front door, and if we can't get in through the front door, we'll go in through the back door.
Very, very much so. It's a very simple description. I think you're right.
He is Ken Cuccinelli, former Virginia AG and former acting deputy secretary at DHS under President Trump. Ken, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.